Obviously, I mean, this is your career. I wonder how much time outside of the job you spend around investing in stocks, right? I feel like once you're doing this, everything you read just becomes your life.
Like,
How much
yeah.
of this is consuming you on a weekly, daily basis?
It's funny. I was watching that show on HB. What's it called? It's called The Pit or something, and it's like ER doctors. And I was asking a
Yeah, yeah,
doctor
yeah,
friend how
the
much he
pit, yeah.
watches that show. I'm like, and he's like, I'm a doctor all day. I don't want to go home and watch someone like surgery. It's I try not to think about it, but it's hard because all of
Yeah.
these things are impacting our everyday life. It's like maybe I'm just a total nerd, but when I'm sitting in traffic, I'm like, yep, our infrastructure is terrible. Or when I'm talking with friends, like a lot of friends are just talking about AI and how they're using it, and so it's hard to escape some of these things. On one hand, that's what's made my career so much fun, and why I think investing is just broadening out to so many people is because it is tangible now. A lot of these things that we're investing in, you really, you're working at these companies, your friends that work at these companies are using their products. It's not just this, really kind of like distant concept anymore. It's something that's really impacting our everyday lives. So I guess like the ER doctor that watches the show The Pit, I guess I'm kind of the guy that still thinks about these themes a lot in my outside of work hours.
Ian, can I just ask a follow up really
Of
quick?
course.
I wonder over the past maybe it's definitely for us over the past 5 years, has there been more of a concentrated conversation around investing than previous years in your career?
In terms of just kind of like more people asking about investing than ever before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we saw in the pandemic something like 40 million accounts opened, which was a lot of investors just opening an account for the first time to start investing. So that brought a lot of people into the investing world. And then on top of that, I do give a lot of credit to ETFs for making investing so much more accessible. That people can build a very good portfolio using ETFs and doing that on their own. So it's been in my view, it's been growing year after year after year. And then on top of that, you've got media like yourselves, like CNBC and Fox Business and all that are talking about these concepts every day. You've
Yeah.
got a ton of activity on social media where people are talking about investing as well. So I think the volume of discussion around investing has grown tremendously in the last 5 years as well.
For everyone who thinks they may have missed out on the AI trade, can you explain like how much bigger of a multiple this iteration of tech is in comparison to, let's say, the dot-com boom or maybe like the social media boom of post 2010? Like, I know because when I talk to people, they're like, well, Nvidia isn't going to give the same gains that it's gotten before, or they're looking to pile into AMD. But can you kind of give context around how much more growth we still have to go over the next decade for the space?
I mean, we often say we're only in the second or third inning of artificial intelligence, but as I was mentioning, there's these different phases, right? So if we're in the build out phase right now, that's why the semiconductor companies are so valuable. It's
Yeah.
because it's an arms race. Everyone wants to get their hands on the leading chips. That's what you need when you're building data centers around the world. You need a lot of chips that are super powerful and expensive to be able to build out this digital infrastructure for AI. So semiconductors have been kind of the first big winners of AI. As we transition to enterprise adoption, more companies using AI in your day to day. That's when some of these large language model companies, I think, are going to do really well because they've built these really smart models. Now they can charge people a lot of money for them. Right now, it's mostly been an expense for these companies. I mean, you hear these like numbers of like one company hiring an engineer for $100 million, and that's actually not even that expensive compared to the tens of billions they're spending on data centers. But soon they can start monetizing those models through enterprise adoption. And then if we go to that third phase, the transformation stage, we're going to see entire industries being built on AI that we've never even seen before. I like to kind of build an analogy to smartphones. So one of the sneakiest technologies that I think changed our lives in ways that is not appreciated was the shift from 3G technology to 4G technology.
Absolutely.
3G really only allowed you to text people. It took like 5 minutes to open a web page. If you tried to send someone a picture on your phone, it was horrible. I mean, this is the flip phone era, right?
Yeah.
As we moved to 4G, there was a reason why screens got so much bigger because you can suddenly access the internet and you're no longer using your phone to text. You're using your phone as a portal to websites, to post photos online, post videos online, shop online, all of that was because 4G made it faster to do all of those things. It was really this kind of sneaky infrastructure layer that made everything so much better with a smartphone. But what did that mean? That meant that like rideshare companies could exist. That meant that online shopping companies could exist on your phone. That meant that you had all these new social media companies popping up. So what does that mean for AI? Well, once you see so much more AI adoption, we'll see companies popping up that we never even thought of that are just using AI as part of their product. Just like these companies, these apps on your smartphone were using 4G technology and never would have existed until 4G came around. So I think that's what's super exciting, and why we think there's such a long runway here is because we haven't even seen those companies being built yet that will leverage AI in that way.
Well, I know in a few weeks we have a big event called Investfest, and you guys are coming back for year 2. iShares, we definitely appreciate you guys coming. So what do you have in store? I know it's a couple of workshops that you're doing, but can you speak on your presence, how you're going to show up at Investfest?
Looking forward to it. We've got 2 educational workshops on that Friday. So one is going to be focused more on retirement and how you can use ETFs to really kind of build for retirement, whether you're in that growing your nest egg phase, or if you're, already thinking about retirement and when you can start to, kind of driving income from your portfolio as well. That will be one session. Another session, I know we've talked a lot about AI and crypto on this platform already, but we'll be digging into some of those themes that are really changing our everyday lives and what it means for investors. So both of those are on Friday at the event.
That's amazing.
There you have it. There you have it.
As a quick follow-up on the enterprise side, which companies, legacy tech companies, do you think would benefit the most from AI over the next few years? And which ones do you think maybe laggards and not adapt quickly enough?
So there's kind of 3 ingredients for artificial intelligence. One, you need a ton of money. You just need tens of billions of dollars. It's so expensive, or cheap access to money. The second thing is you need really smart engineers to be able to build these models. And the third thing you need is data. Ultimately, data is the fuel that makes these large language models smarter, more capable than ever before. So there's a reason why the Mag 7, the biggest tech companies in the world, are the leaders here, is because they have all 3 of those things. They have a lot of money, they have great engineers, and they have access to tons of data. With that being said, I think there's some companies that still might be more at risk of disruption. So if you don't have your own data, you're going to have to buy it from someone. And that means building AI is more expensive for you than for someone else. If your entire product is something that could be automated through AI, I think there's a lot of risk as well. A lot of companies just build very simple software that gets embedded in our everyday lives, and they get to charge a monthly fee. What if you can build that using AI, though, and you don't need that software anymore? That could suddenly really change some of these SaaS companies that have made a lot of money delivering software to enterprises. So I think there'll be a lot of winners, but there's going to be a lot of losers in tech too. And that's why you have to be really kind of thoughtful about how are you getting exposure to AI, because you can win and you can also lose in AI.
Just roll with the winners. My last thing is, as you look at AI, obviously the advancements in it, there still needs to be protection. Your thoughts around defense AI, cybersecurity, and its importance in the next few years?
Well, basically, what I was just saying, basically the value of data is increasing with artificial intelligence. It's like oil suddenly became really valuable once we had automobiles.
Right.
So data becomes really valuable when you have artificial intelligence that can monetize that data in a way that it hasn't been done before. So if you suddenly have something that went from like being not that valuable to really valuable, you have to spend the money to protect it. It's like, you bought a house in a neighborhood that wasn't that great, and all of a sudden it just blew up as a neighborhood and everyone's trying to move in. Maybe that's when you think more about putting a camera on the front door, right? Because you've got a really expensive property now. It's the same thing with data. And we're going to see, I think, a commensurate huge amount of investment in cybersecurity for companies and governments that want to protect that data that's become so valuable.
Well, once again, thank you for your time, and ending on Investfest. You being in the space, right? What does an event like that mean as far as giving exposure for retail investors to companies like yourself and others, and just having that wealth of information? Like, what's your thoughts on the importance of it?
I just think it's tremendous to have this opportunity to connect with investors. We spend a lot of time thinking about how we can deliver education at scale on our website, on Instagram, on X. But being able to be there in the room with people, to hear their questions, share our ideas, I just think it's a tremendous way to connect asset managers like ourselves with investors that are using our products.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Thank you for your time, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, have a good
No
one, Jim.
problem. Take care. All right.
That was insightful.
There you have
great
it.
conversation.
Yeah, that was great. It's one of those things where, again, when you talk about information, we do it every week here, and then you hear somebody from the industry that's actually doing it, just reconfirming the things that we've kind of been cementing over the past 6-7 years. So
Yeah,
that was dope, man.
Yeah, I think it was insightful. A few things. You talked about target date funds. I've been saying that since the beginning, as far as investing in target date funds.
Absolutely.
I thought that it was very insightful how he broke the AI down into different stages, and paraphrasing, like chips are winning now,
but it's going to be an adjustment. Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So that's important to just keep in mind.
Yeah.
Keep your head up and your eyes open, because there might be a whole new winners circle in 4 years or 3 years or 2 years. Who knows?
And it again just reiterates kind of the theme, right? We've been calling it, I did a whole segment calling it the data center revolution, where yes, chips are running it right now, but infrastructure is important. Somebody has to build these data centers. Somebody has to build the racks. Somebody has to build the wiring for the connectivity to those. So infrastructure, I'm glad he brought that up, is somebody has to power it, which is why we talk about companies like Vistra, and we talked about CSG. These companies are going to play a role. Who's going to make the energy? Who's going to make it efficient? Those are the people that are going to lead. So yes, chips are winning, and the leaders will still be in the lead, but infrastructure is being built around that. We got to invest in those companies as well.
And if Apple don't acquire Perplexity,
I saw another report, man.
I saw a lot of people get on me about that.
I saw another report.
Enterprise wave, when all the work is automated and it's agentic on every platform.
Yeah.
That I think that's going to be the greatest technology revolution of our lives, where we can have an idea and literally build the idea out and deploy it and have the company being ran automatically on the enterprise side. It's going to be the biggest revolution I think we've ever seen. I think it destroys or displaces a lot of the job market, and that have and have not layer is wider. But in terms of productivity, it's going to be nothing like we've ever seen.